So a few days ago, TDS released the Brawl update. The update added a new tower called the Brawler, obviously, and a couple of tower rebalances as well. And among the towers that got rebalanced, there was one tower that stood out the most, and that is the Engineer. The Engineer got buffed so hard that I actually think it might be the new best tower in TDS.
No, it's not.
Huh? Who's that?
Well, actually, Engineer is not the best tower, and I can explain why. There are actually several different reasons that makes Engineer not the best tower. Number 1, it has low DPS on level 0. If you compare Engi to Excel, you see that it's...
Who was that guy? But I might have gotten a new idea. In this video, I'm gonna be playing through all the game modes in TDS with only the Engineer to see if it really is the best tower. Okay, that was a lie. I will be bringing support towers, but still, as I was saying, I'll even be playing through Pizza Party, Badlands, Polluted Wastelands, and even Hardcore. So, without further ado, let's begin this test. Starting with Easy Mode. Yeah, it's a no-brainer that Engineer clears this mode without any issue. Not only that, you can actually beat this mode with only one Engineer placed. And even worse, the Gravedigger's health gets nerfed to 15k when you're playing Easy Mode. And because of that, Engineer absolutely destroyed the Gravedigger. Moving on, we have Molten mode. I tried doing the same thing as in Easy mode, where I only placed one Engineer, and here's how it went. As you might have expected, the Engineer destroyed everything until wave 31, where it actually started to struggle a bit. I had to turn off my auto skip as there was too many enemies for the Engineer to handle, and despite having its struggles, it still managed to reach wave 40 without needing any help at all. Until Molten boss spawned. It managed to get its health down to 45,000 HP before I had to place down all 6 of my Engineers cause I was sure that a single Engineer wasn't winning this fight.
Ha! See? I told you. Engineer can't even solo the Molten boss. This just further proves that Accelerator is better than the Engineer.
Anyways, I'm pretty sure that it can actually do this, just on a different map that I don't have access to. And just like that, it beat the Molten boss. Next up, we have Intermediate mode. This mode actually gave Engineer a bit of a challenge, cause not only that this mode spawns in so many enemies, everything spawns in much earlier than usual. For example, the first boss that appears in this mode spawns in at wave 7, and the second boss spawns in at wave 16. To be honest, I actually died on my first run because I severely underestimated this mode. Whoops. Then I came back for a round 2, where I locked in this time, and to no surprise, Engineer beats Patient Zero pretty easily. Now we have Fallen mode, the hardest one out of these 4 game modes. And I'm not gonna lie, I think the Engineer actually handled the early game of Fallen mode much better than in Intermediate mode. And it's because of the fact that you have more time to prepare in Fallen mode. On wave 40, the Engineer actually struggled against the Fallen Guardians due to its stupidly high defense. It took a while for the Engineers to take them down, before finally doing damage to the Fallen King, but it was too late, and we lost.
Ha! I told you. Engineer isn't even the best tower. It can't even solo the Fallen King. If it was Accelerator, it would have beaten it easily. And I bet Accelerator can handle Intermediate mode way better.
And that concludes the main 4. Now, let's get into the big 4, starting with Pizza Party. Yeah, it didn't last that long. It only lasted until wave 14, where it lost to a scout. But then I thought, what if I were to use consumables? So I went back in for another round and I did exactly that. Oh, and also, I brought in Frostblaster, which has an amazing stall. And just like that, Engineer lasted until wave 38, where it lost to a commander. Next up we have Badlands, and as you might have expected, Engineer didn't last very long. I mean, yeah, of course, this game mode isn't meant to be soloed. Anyways, moving on, we have Polluted Wastelands, and I was pretty confident that Engineer could go far in this game mode due to the map's length. Okay, it's wave 7. What? 150 HP? Wait, what? What's going on? How is that fair? 150 HP on wave 7? No. Something's wrong here. Oh, hell nah. Okay, so I had no idea what happened there, but let's move on to Hardcore mode. Engineer dealt with early game almost perfectly. Why almost? Well, it's because of hidden detection. Engineer's sentries don't get hidden detection until level 5, and because of that, we lost on wave 25 from the hidden boss spam. So, it's time to ask the question, is Engineer the best tower in the game? While I do agree that Engineer is pretty good, it is not the best tower in the game. In fact, I think the concept of best tower shouldn't even exist in a game like this. It would just turn TDS into a boring game, using the same towers in every round, since there won't be any reason to use anything else other than the best towers. I mean, we've seen this happen before when TDS first released the accelerator. Back then, when you already unlocked everything, there's literally no other reason to use other towers, cause accelerator was the best one. And then a few months later, everyone just started complaining about how boring TDS is. But nowadays, the devs started rebalancing the towers, and I'm glad that's happening.
Yeah, I agree with you. And by having more towers that can be better than the accelerator in certain aspects, it allows a wider variety of towers to use.
Oh, you're not denying me anymore? Well then, I'm glad that we can come to an agreement with each other.